This past weekend, the Chicago Rush took a victory over the Orlando Predators. Let's take a look at some pregame action with a few rookie and veteran interviews from both teams. I'm McMillan of the Chicago Rush. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Orlando as well had a bye week, and the first week that they had a game, it was kind of an interesting story, so there's not much film on them. What are you guys doing to prepare for tonight's game?
You know, the biggest thing we stressed this week was we got to be disciplined. We have to understand that we can't make mistakes. You know, this is their first game. They've had a couple weeks off with the whole incident that happened in week 1 and then the bye week last week. So, you know, they're going to be a little rusty. They're going to come out and you know, have some mistakes. That's what we're hoping for. So we can't make mistakes. Is what we got to go out. We got to be perfect. We got to go out there and execute the way we're supposed to execute. And you know, hopefully at the end of the game we'll have more points than they will.
Calvin Morris of the Chicago Rush. You're coming off a win 2 weeks ago from Tampa. You had a great game. You had 2 interceptions for touchdowns. Give us a little insight into this game.
Oh man, it's just you know, studying, you know what I'm saying, knowing your opponent. You have to know your opponent, you know, better than they know themselves, because the game is so fast in the arena game, so everything has to be quick. You have to be on point, and you know, study film, you know, try to get an edge on, you know, the quarterbacks and stuff like that.
Right. And explain to us what your role is on the Chicago Rush team. Some people view you as a team leader. Do you see yourself as this, you know, on the team?
Oh yeah, I would think so. I'm not the vocal type, you know what I'm saying? So I try to lead by example on the field, you know, on and off the field, you know, definitely off the field, you know, because we have a lot of young guys this year. So, but you know, lead them on an example off the field, and you know, hopefully they follow. And for the most part, right now they are.
Yeah. Yep. Xavier Brown of the Chicago Rush, rookie. In your first game, you had 2 sacks and also forcing an interception by one of your teammates. Give us a little insight into this. You know, what did you learn from this game?
This game is just high motor. You got to keep going and going. You know, they're passing most of the time, so you can always pin your ears back and just go for the ball. Quarterback is where I want to be, so that's what I do. I go to the quarterback and I just make plays.
Okay. Marquise Hamilton of the Chicago Rush, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I would call your first game with the Chicago Rush against Tampa one of your breakout games. You had 116 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 10 receptions. Explain to us a little bit about this game.
The last game or the game coming up?
Tampa.
Oh, well, just taking advantage of the opportunities I had. You know, they play a lot of off coverage, and, you know, you catch the ball, you get upfield, and you're trying to make yards after the catch, and that's what I did. And, you know, you check the stat column after the game, I ended up having 116 yards. You
came from the Iowa Barnstormers. Explain to us your transition to Chicago. What brought you here?
Well, it's a great city. You know, I've been here several times over the past few years. My college roommates actually live here, so I decided, you know, opportunity to play in the great city of Chicago, I couldn't turn it down.
Chicago also has, you know, a lot of star players and wide receivers, Reggie Gray, etc. Explain to us, you know, what is it like playing with these players?
It's great. You know, Reggie's a seasoned professional. He's been doing this for a while, so I try to, you know, pick his brain as much as I can, soak up as much knowledge as I can from that guy, because he knows the game, and I think that's helped me become a better player.
Brett Muncy, head coach of the Orlando Predators and member of the Silver Anniversary Committee. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Thank you. And you guys actually had a bye this last week. Is there anything particular from that first game going into tonight that you decided to tweak or fix?
Well, as you know, it wasn't like we played our first game. So this is our first game tonight, and it's been a long camp. A long couple of weeks. We're just excited to take the field tonight and see what we've got. We've got a lot of teaching to do, and we're going to learn what our team's all about tonight, playing this great Chicago team.
Tran Washington of the Orlando Predators, thank you for joining us. What have you been doing to prepare for tonight's game for the Chicago Rush?
You know, just, you know, studying the secondary, and, you know, just getting in the vibe and listening to the music, and, you know, just trying to do everything that I need to do, you know, and mentally just prepare for this game.
Okay. And you're a rookie to the league, and you got Offensive Player of the Week 2 weeks ago. What does this mean to you, and are you going to hope to sustain this throughout the entire season?
Oh yeah, I'm just, you know, try my best to just keep going and, you know, do what I have to do and don't even worry about all that.
Colin Drass, quarterback of the Orlando Predators. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're coming off a loss from Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And as your role as a quarterback, what do you need to do to make sure that you secure this win tonight with the Chicago Rush?
I think any quarterback has to provide leadership. Of course, our situation was a little unique coming off that loss, but you know, we just want to get in and you know, try to establish a rhythm early in the game and hopefully get off to a good start and kind of roll from there.
Ronnie Gent of the Orlando Predators, fullback. Ronnie, thanks for joining us.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Your transition to Orlando, give us a little insight as to what it was like going from Louisville to Orlando Predators and what brought you there.
Okay, I'm actually a Florida native. I'm from Lakeland, Florida, but playing college ball at the University of Louisville, it's a nice time for me. Kind of put me on the map, playing tight end, and it just pretty much made me who I am. But making the transition, coming down, moving to fullback, it's a little different. Being in the backfield, I get to fulfill my childhood dreams of being like a big tailback. That's what I consider myself now. But I do a lot of blocking, and it's the same as being a tight end. It's just that you're handing me the ball and I come up and block people.